Class, I hope my series of presentations has helped you in terms of learning to formulate a response to case studies. Now, there is one other document that's in your materials at the McGraw-Hill site. And it's called a format guide. What I did was I took the lectures and I put together a format guide. Okay? And this is, if you fill in these blanks, you're going to be going a long way toward creating a very good response to a case study. So what I did was, so let's go page by page and you'll see what I mean. So here's the first section of the paper, the executive summary. And what I put here was, you're going to write down whatever your thesis statement is, right? This is why we're reading it, conclusion. And then the important facts, maybe important research here, right? It's very limited, like I said, very short and sweet. Now, let's guide down a little bit. Hopefully this works. It does. Okay, now, the next section is going to be the issue presented. Now, in the document, there is a box that is presented. Okay, and I said that this one didn't translate that well in this program, but it says your issue must fit in the box. Now, don't start writing really, really tiny. I want you to, in normal printing or writing or whatever you use, you write down your issue. Okay, there's an old saying that if it took more than the back of a business card for you to say what was the issue, then you're probably wrong. I gave you a little bit more room, okay? So when you write down your issue, you write out in longhand, it should fit in the box. If it's bigger than the box, you probably have to narrow the issue down. Not that you're wrong, you're probably spot on. It's just that you're trying to chew through too much stuff, so you want to narrow it down, okay? So that's why I gave you the room in that. I said it has to fit in the box. Facts, okay? Now, in the same way that I said, for every fact, I'm not going to hunt for them, okay? That's, you just got to understand that, okay? What I did here was to say, you got an overview statement. This is the important, the important situation is nuts and bolts. And the conclusion is there's not enough nuts and bolts put together, okay? So you got those two. What I laid out for you was for each fact that you put down, you're going to give a page number within the case study, so that you don't have to go back and hunt for it. It's going to be right there for you. Okay, and you can add more pages, and I always put notes around it. You can scribble whatever you got to do. This is the way I used to do it, just because it helped me. Okay, then I have my analysis. Okay, now again, I'm not saying that there's only 3 sentences you're going to write. I'm just trying to give you a format. There aren't going to be only 4 sentences you're going to write because of the facts. This is format. Okay, the number of sentences you use is up to you, depending on what you see as the facts being presented. So again, important line here, insert additional pages as needed. Okay, so if you need more pages, you're going to insert more information. Now, how do you do the analysis? For every single paragraph, this gives you the breakout for a paragraph, so to speak. Okay, this is the first part of it. Okay, remember I said there were 2 parts to an analysis. First we laid out our research, then we related the facts to the research. So again, it's the top and bottom of the sandwich, the overview statement, the conclusion, and then you're going to write down, my research found that nuts and bolts are hard to put together. Source. Research indicates that that's because nuts and bolts don't like each other. Source. That can be overcome by significant work doing yada, yada, yada. Right? Source. Okay? So what I'm trying to do, or trying to help you do, is after you've done all your research, now pick out what issues or what research is important. Now, again, can't stress it enough, I only had so many trees to kill. If you think there's more than 3 or 4 facts that are relevant, then you're going to have more than 1 sheet. Okay? This is just to give you a format. So then you get to the next part, right? Because the analysis continues. Okay? Right? Statement that relates the facts to your research, right? And you get the page of the fact and the relevant source. So nuts and bolts don't like each other, right? And you observe that on page 3 of the case study. You also saw it in this relevant source. In other words, we're trying to, that chart that I described where you have on the left the research, on the right the facts, so that you can turn it and write the paper. This is very much laying that out so that process of creating the responses here. Now again, I laid out 1, 2, 3. I laid out 4 or 5 sentences you can make. You may need more than that. You might be able to do it in less. Okay? Highly unlikely you do it in less. but you can always do more. And then we get to the conclusion, right? And I said the conclusion was supposed to be brief. It is brief. I gave you 4 sentences. That's about half a page when you think about a double-spaced APA format, space and a half, I think it is. So, I mean, you're not going to go too far beyond that. And each one, for each page, you'll notice I put at the bottom notes that you can take about what's going on, okay, that might be relevant to that, or you might, connect your notes to it. I developed this, my hope was that in developing this, it would give you a format for what it is you're going to be doing going forward, okay? So this is just an idea, okay? It's not something you're locked into, okay? Obviously, you're going to have to expand it because I only put so many things on each one. But this is just an idea, something you can create going forward or use to create a skeleton going forward. All right? Now, so if you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask. Take care. Bye-bye.